everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to talk to you all about something that I don't think I've ever really talked about on my channel, and that is ways to get into colorful makeup. So as you can tell by my face and probably many videos on my channel, I do really like using colorful makeup and not so much neutrals. I will use neutrals in kind of my day-to-day life, but I really like to play up the colors when I'm going out and wear, you know, bright pinks with black or bright purples, greens. Those are just some of my favorites. I do use a lot of blue in my looks as well. So I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about how to get started and stepping into the world of color, because it can be very scary and you might feel like you don't know what you're doing or you can't pull things off, and that is completely untrue. There are no rules when it comes to makeup. Anybody can wear anything they want as long as you feel comfortable in it. That is what matters. So let's talk about some of the products I recommend for those just getting started. When I was starting to use colorful makeup, one of the things that I use the most, I have a whole box of products here. One of the things I used the most was eyeliners. So many companies make bright, amazing eyeliners, and they're usually a gel pencil like this. And this is really where I started. I would wear a fairly neutral eyeshadow, but my liner would be a pop of color, either on the top lash line or the bottom lash line. It's up to you. But this is one of the first ones I purchased, and this is from Ulta. This is their gel eyeliner in aqua, and I'm going to swatch it so you can see how beautiful the color is. And it goes on super smooth. This is the color. It's kind of metallic. So doing this with a neutral eye and just putting a little bit of this really opens up your eye and kind of creates like a focal point, really drawing your eyes up, especially if everything else is very neutral and soft. It's really easy to use these, and you can even smudge them out, but you can always start off with colors that appeal to you. So for me, I love teals and greens, so I always use like a teal or green. Or if you want to go with something that seems a little bit more like it's black, whether that's for work or if your school has like certain standards about what makeup you can wear. This one is from LA Girls, so these both are very affordable. And this one is a matte cobalt blue. So this one's a little bit closer to black and a little less scary. Or you can go all out and go the Urban Decay route. Obviously this is a bit more expensive, but this is their Glide On 24/7 pencil in Woodstock. Now they make a ton of colors in this, and this is a fuchsia pink. So when it comes to this stuff, I would definitely say if you want to get into wearing colorful makeup on a day-to-day basis, like just throughout the day in your regular life, these are a great way to start. On the flip side of things, maybe you're someone who's tried to use colorful makeup in the past and it just hasn't worked out for you. You can't seem to get it right. Like it just never looks right. Like it's patchy, it's chunky, nothing's as bright as it's supposed to be. I highly recommend trying out a white base as your eye primer if you've never thought to use one. So this is the one I use. This is the NYX one that comes in a pot. You can also get this in pencil form in Milk. But this is the white cream eye base, and this is marketed as something that gives your colors 100% more color, and I definitely think that is the case. Even with my neutrals, I use this because it just makes my gold so much more vivid and my browns so much more rich. So I love using this, and you can just take your finger and dip in and get a little bit like this. You don't need a lot, and then pat it on your eyelid. Now, something I have kind of learned from a lot of other people is that if you want a really bright, vivid look, do not set your base with a you know, white or transition color. You want to leave it on like this because this will keep it tacky and really grip onto the pigment. So a white base is a great place to start, whether you're just starting with colorful makeup or you've been doing it for a while and it's just not looking quite right. So maybe you want to get into using colorful eyeshadows, but you don't know where to start because some colorful eyeshadows really miss the mark. I have a few palettes and a couple single shadows to recommend. One of my colorful recommendations is this Makeup Revolution Passion for Color Reloaded palette. This is very affordable. I think it's like less than $15 at Ulta, and I have used this a couple times. And a palette like this is great to start out with because you do have some neutrals in these golds and kind of oranges and pinks. And honestly, that is where I would tell you to start, is start by warming up your browns with like a lighter orangey kind of burnt sienna color, and kind of go in and find what works for you. I do find greens and kind of these plummy colors do come off very neutral on a lot of skin tones. So if you want to try and incorporate color, this is a good place to start, because this whole bottom row, I would say, is actually quite tame, as well as some of the top row, other than like these two colors, which you can always pop in as like an accent color. But this palette is a great place to start. It has beautiful transitions, there's shimmers and metallics in here, so you can really start figuring out what you like and don't like on your own skin. Then we have the BH Galaxy Chic palette. This is an 18 color baked palette, and these are obviously very bright, very colorful, and may seem a bit intimidating, but when you swatch them, I'll swatch Venus here since this is like a bright orange, you can see it's quite bright, but when you actually put it on the skin and kind of shear it out, I'm going to go back and forth as if I was blending it. Hopefully you can see that right there. It is very light. Let me do one of the blues. This is this shade here. This is Comet. And when you put it on, it just gives a nice metallic wash and isn't so bright that you would be feeling like you're doing clown makeup. It's shimmery and thin enough that you could wear this to the office every day, just have a nice sparkle and not feel like, you know, you're drawing attention for the wrong reasons. So this is a good stepping stone into bold makeup, and of course you can get these baked shadows wet with a bit of setting spray and they will become more pigmented. But if you're just starting out with brights and colorful makeup, you can just start out by using these dry and get your feet wet. If you really want to go all in and just dive right into colors, I highly recommend the Tammy X palette from Makeup Revolution. It looks like this. This palette has a ton of bright colors. I've used it on here a few times, but it has pinks and purples and reds, but you still have your kind of darker, more everyday shades. I would say probably this pink you could get away with every day. There is a black to kind of help you tone down some of the colors you might have, but this blue is beautiful. This bronze is gorgeous. So you can really play around with this one as well and find a good mix of colors. Of course, if you want to go more high-end, there is the Jeffree Star Blood Sugar palette. This one I would say is probably one of the most wearable bright color palettes I own, just for the simple fact that burgundies and reds are much more tame now, I think, than they used to be. And there is a ton of transitions and wearable light colors here in the top row that you could really get away with when mixing your reds with something else. I really like wearing Fresh Meat, which is this dark burgundy color, in my crease, and using like a donor on the lid or sweetener if I'm going for a more toned down look. If I'm going for something bright and crazy, I will always start with Glucose on the brow bone because it just brightens everything up, and then I'll go into Root Canal. This is my favorite purple I own, and like O Positive and Coma. That's how I do most of my purple looks, is with those three colors. Foundations, if you just want to start out small and don't want to commit to a full palette, NYX makes some wonderful single shadows. This is the Beyond Nude collection, and this is the Next Morning. It's a beautiful shade, and it is a matte, and it does apply fairly well. It can be a little chalky at times without a base underneath it, but again, it's a great place to start. And then this one is their Hot Singles in Ultraviolet, so it is a purple. And again, this looks beautiful if you have green eyes all over the lid. Last colorful ones I have, of course, I have to mention one of my favorite brands ever, is ColourPop. Their Super Shock Shadows are some of my favorite products. This one is called Erotic and is a beautiful orange color. And again, these can be laid on very thick or blended out very thin. If you use your finger, you're going to get more pigment. If you use a brush, it's going to be a little bit lighter for you. So you can kind of play around and find your comfort zone. This is another favorite. This is Ibiza. It's a beautiful teal. And then we have the one that is on my lids today, and that is Fantasy. So this one is kind of a metallic purple. Now, one thing I will say, this isn't a necessary tool for doing colorful makeup. It's just helpful. I highly suggest getting one of these color switching sponges. I have mine from Ulta. You just run your brush through the bristles on this sponge and it will clean the color off your brushes. If you are not a makeup aficionado and don't have 900 brushes, this will help clean your brushes off when you are using them. And I will say brushes are 90% of what is going to make your makeup look great. 5% is technique and 5% is product, honestly. Your brushes do matter, so even if you get a good set of brushes, you can get so many good brushes now for so cheap. BH, Morphe, NYX has brushes. Like, you can really find some great brushes for an affordable price. Those are going to help immensely with your colorful makeup. Let's talk lips. I feel like this is another great starting point if you just want to punch up a neutral look, because you can do a very neutral look on the eyes and add a bright lip and it just shoots that look over the moon and is honestly a conversation piece. Like, do not think that I did not go to high school with purple lips, because I did, and I have photographic evidence somewhere on my Instagram I'm sure you all can find. But if you're a little afraid or don't know where to start, I highly recommend starting with an orange or a coral. So this color is called Foiled Again and it is from NYX. It is a mini liquid lip suede, and this is orange. So I am just going to swatch it here for you guys on the back of my hand so you can see. This is an orange shade. It's almost, I feel like orange is just that step up from nude. It's like nude's crazy cousin. Like, an orange can be really beautiful on a lot of different skin tones. For me, I think corals and oranges really bring out the warmth that it does exist deep down in my skin tone. And it's great for summer. They're great for fall. It's just a beautiful look. So I love a good orange lip. And you can find so many shades of orange. There's deep, kind of spicy oranges or really bright neon ones. Whatever you feel comfortable in to start with, and then you can kind of work your way through the shade range. I think doing that with red is also the same thing, but orange is a great place to start, and NYX has some beautiful oranges. Another way to get into crazy colorful makeup is lip toppers. This one is from Wet n Wild. They have some great ones. This is in Pastel Grunge, so it is a light blue. I'm just going to swatch it on my hand. You can put this over top of any look you want to give it kind of a periwinkly light blue hue. Hopefully you can see it right there. And it just adds some glitter and sparkle and a little bit something different to your lips. Wet n Wild also has these awesome catsuit metallic lipsticks. I think metallic lips are a great start if you're just getting into wearing mattes, because a lot of crazy colors are mattes. This one is called Bewitched, and it's a beautiful kind of indigo purple. So if you're more comfortable wearing darker lips, like maybe you're into wearing dark browns based on your skin tone or just what you feel kind of comfortable with, purples I feel like are a good next step. Another purple I really like is Guess from ColourPop. I don't know if they still have this, but I know they do have a color like this. I'm gonna swatch it. And this is like a deep, deep purple. Like, it's beyond wine and beyond berry. It is like almost black, but still has enough purple in it that you can see. It's kind of like a grape juicy color. Jeffree Star also makes a similar color called Abused. I also think that blue lips look absolutely beautiful. I love them on myself and I love them on other people, especially with like a neutral look and then like a bright blue lip. This one is called Guess. I wore this in my last tutorial, so I'm not going to swatch it. But it is a like deep, rich royal blue, and it looks so beautiful. It also makes your teeth look super, super white. Colors, these are my last two products I recommend that maybe will help you get into color or pastel kind of colors. So I have Diva here from Jeffree Star Cosmetics, and this is a bright pink that if you already wear like lighter pinks, I promise you, you will love this color. First of all, it's gorgeous and bright, but for a night out, you can't tell me like a lip like this will not go over. It will. People will love it. And then another one I recommend, this is more on the pastel side, is Airborne Unicorn from Lime Crime. And I will swatch this so you can see it. This is I think it's a satin lipstick. It's not totally matte, but it does smell delicious. So this is a little bit of a brighter purple if you don't want to go the dark route. But that is all the products I recommend for getting into colorful makeup. Colorful makeup is not as scary as everyone thinks. I promise you, no one is going to judge you for wearing it. And those who do, like I said, are totally jealous of how good your makeup looks. If you guys want to know more about the products I recommend for colorful makeup, leave me your questions and comments down below. And if you want to see how to do this, if you really just feel like you want to experiment with colorful makeup, check out my makeup tutorials. I have playlists linked down below on how I do all these crazy things with my face. And if you want to see more, check out my Instagram. I will have 100 days of makeup coming up very soon, where you guys can see how I turn out the looks for 100 days in a row. So I hope you like this video, and I hope to see you in the next one.